Welcome back to the third and final part of our news review this morning. I have quite an influential panel, influential in terms of the kind of ideas that they have, especially during the breaks. I wonder why you don't give these ideas during when we are on air, gentlemen. Okay, we will. On my extreme right, David Ochieng, Member of Parliament for Ugenya. On my immediate right, Mr. Barak Muluka. He says he doesn't want to be Mheshimiwa. He's a political analyst. Yes. And my immediate left, Chris Omalwa, Member of Parliament for Kiminini. For a long time I thought you were a lawyer. Until today I just get to gather that you are a scholar. And somebody wants to assign you the role of being in charge of universities when he becomes president. Anyway, intolerance. A number of days ago, we had a fight between two members of parliament. One nominated, the other one elected. And this happened within the confines of the most powerful ministry in charge of security in this country. Over the weekend, we had a very sad incident, which is actually captured on page 3 of the Standard newspaper. Member of Parliament for Homa Bay Town constituency, Mheshimiwa Peter Opondo Kaluma, in fists and body contacts with a person who is aspiring to upstage him during the election, one Washington Ogaga. This incident happened in Homa Bay during one of the political rallies, ODM political rallies, and the rally was actually attended by Mheshimiwa Raila Odinga, who, according to the story, had to come in and calm the crowd. The president was in Central Province. This is in the Daily Nation, page 4, and his message, which we want to look at as being a bit intolerant of competition, and gentlemen, you will guide me on this, is telling Raila Odinga that it's time for you to go home. Maybe it is your age, and that is why I'm asking you to retire now as an old man. We will ensure that you are treated well. Occasionally, I will bring you a bowl of uji in Bondo if you quit. That is what the president said when he was in Laikipia and Nyeri counties. Chris, intolerance to competition, intolerance to divergence of views. What are leaders showing Kenyans ahead of 2017 general elections? Actually, it's just about 250 days away.
I think it's very, very unfortunate that we are seeing these fights, particularly from politicians. And by the way, expect more as we approach the general elections. The issue here is we must tolerate each other, and voters are the ones to decide. If you look at that incident where Honorable Kaluma is being hammered down, when the family, the children, looks at that photo or the friends, it's actually really embarrassing. We must be able to tolerate each other. And again, much that there's that freedom of expression, I think as you utter some words, you know, I heard somebody say that one guy, when he engages his mouth, he disengages his mind. I don't want to go into those stories. But indeed, we must have respect for each other. Indeed, chapter 6 of the Constitution is very clear in terms of leadership and integrity. Particularly as leaders, we must be able to tolerate each other. I don't think the voters will vote for you because you're a good boxer. They'll want to know. The scorecard will be there. And in that scorecard, one of the measurements will not be fighting. So the issue here is this: we are calling upon our colleagues to be tolerant of each other. People come and go. I'm the Member of Parliament for Kiminini. My time will come, I'll go, another MP will come in. So the issue here is we must be able to tolerate each other, allow people to have that their own divergent kind of views without maybe feeling intimidated or whatever. But now going to what the president has mentioned
on page 4 of the Daily Nation,
Raila Amolo Odinga, it's actually very, very unfortunate. Article 38 of the Constitution, they will have political freedom. And there's nowhere in the law where it says that because you've reached some specific age, you must retire from politics. It's not there at all. Raila Odinga has played a very critical role as far as the freedom in this country is concerned. The Bill of Rights that we've had, he has sacrificed his own life to be where we are today. And we recognize him for the role he has played in this country. So it is upon the Kenyans to decide who should be their president, but not our President Uhuru Kenyatta to tell him to hang up his boots because of the age or whatever it is. That does not arise at all.
Well put. There is no scorecard where the number of fists you rain onto your opponent are going to be checked. Neither are there scorecards, Barak Muluka, for the kind of words you say against your opponent. But doesn't the president, as a normal citizen, have a right to speak his mind?
The scorecard is there. The scorecard need not be written down in letters or even in numbers. It needs to be written into our psyche, in our entire upbringing, in our entire value system. You see, Mheshimiwa Chris talks of chapter 6, and chapter 6 is just that. It's a chapter in the Constitution. It's not worth the ink, it's not worth the paper, it's just that. You look at a certain community somewhere. Last week we were here talking about a quack, a medical kind of quack, someone who pretends to be a doctor, and we have seen that this fellow has gone to his home and he has been received as a hero. The people of that ward are even telling him that we are now going to make you an MCA because you have succeeded in cheating the world. So it is about cheating the world. And we find it going all the way to the top. There are no values. If we have values, there are values that a rat has eaten. When you look at the question of age, and I think people should give us a break. President Uhuru's father, Jomo Kenyatta, came to power when he was about 75 years old. He was much older than Raila Odinga is, and I've had him being credited as having been a good president. I was growing up at that time. He passed on, and God rest his soul in eternal peace, when I was a heartbeat away from the University of Nairobi, Chris Wamalwa. And I can tell you that when I make a fair assessment of what kind of president the late Mzee Jomo Kenyatta was, I give him a score that is under 5 out of 10.
So age is not a factor.
I can give the reasons, and he did not get less than 5 because of the age. It was because of the inclination, because of the trend. And I see the same trends that President Kenyatta established have been picked up by President Uhuru Kenyatta. I think there must be people, his teachers, who keep on telling him that this is what Mutongoria used to do, and do it the same way Mutongoria was saying, including mouthing invective that is not good for the dignity and for the decorum of office of president, which is not his personal property. It is our office which we have given to him in trust, and he ought to conduct and comport himself in a manner that shows that he respects those of us who have elected him, who have placed him there. If Raila Odinga is telling him that your government has stolen money, and it is this money, this such and such amount, President Kenyatta has got accountants who should tell us that no, this money has not been stolen. This is how we have spent the money. He gives us a proper breakdown of how that money has been spent. He doesn't even need to do it himself. He has got people whom we are paying for him. They are the ones to tell us where the money has gone. But when he starts shouting angrily and telling Raila Odinga to go home, and that he will be taking him porridge because he is eating meat while others are salivating, we start thinking that there's something wrong, not just with this government, but with this president.
Thank you, Barack. David, when Chris has just indicated that, and I will ask you, Chris, how many more fights should we expect as we head towards the election? Are we likely to see you in this kind of situation? What with this intolerance? David?
Never. You'll never see me fight anybody physically.
When we are being beaten up.
Because of a seat. I will also not be on why I would be beaten up. I'm a coward in that regard, I can assure you. But first things first. I think Uhuru must realize that Raila is here to stay. He isn't going anywhere. And isn't a fly that he will whisk like this. No. Raila is here for the long run and for the long term. So he needs to start dealing with the issues, not personalities. I think the president needs to start dealing with what the country wants him to deal with. He is 55, for crying out loud. He's a grandfather. In fact, in our former regime, he would be retiring before the end of this year as a civil servant. And so, let nothing or nobody lie to him. He just, betrothed his son the other day, last month. So, does he think he's a young man? He isn't. By any standard, he's an old man like any other.
But as a politician, doesn't he have...
That's what I'm making. That instead of wishing your opponent away, deal with the issues he's raising. If he dealt with those issues, then the issue of Raila or anybody else won't arise. Age or anything won't arise. So I want to tell him that no, Raila will be here. He'll be here next year in the elections, and Raila will actually beat him in the next elections if he continues the way he's doing what he's doing. On political intolerance, you saw last week, Charles, a governor decided to hire trucks to go and heap fertilizer or is it manure on a venue
where
he's not supposed to have a rally. So here in
Muranga.
In Muranga,
yeah.
You've seen that, okay? You've seen guys fighting over venue.
We saw a member of parliament shoving a governor in Western Kenya.
Just over the weekend, and so these kind of things happen when people stop dealing with issues of wananchi. When people think that being in a seat is a life and death issue. I have told my constituents that I don't think I must go back to parliament. And so I carry myself in my constituency in such a manner that I am not going to die if I lost my seat. Now, if you have it in your mind that you must be the one, that it can only be me, then you're going to have these fights happening. But if you see leadership as a service issue, that the other person also has something in mind that can help the country, that the other person who wants to be MP, just like me, like when I was campaigning to be MP, I was in the similar situation. There was an MP that time, but I was hoping that my views would be better than his, and so people will listen to me more than they listen to him. So if leaders start selling ideas, then there will be no reason to fist fight. There will be no reason to fight anybody. So if and I want to plead with our leaders that you know it doesn't help you. It doesn't help you to fight because it doesn't bring you any votes. In my opinion, it doesn't bring any votes. And so, just going forward also, we have laws in this country, and that's why I agree with Barack. That sometimes I feel that if you even just tear off chapter 6 from the Constitution, because look, you can see it in the papers today. If you ask maybe the Citizen journalist who was there, he has it in a clip, and these guys are not being charged for fighting in public. It is unethical. It is conduct unbecoming. It's against the law. But we condone it. That's why Honorable Chris Omolo is saying you're going to see more of it because there are no consequences attached to it.
Talking of more of this, Chris, how many more are we likely to see? And that reminds me, at one time you almost got physical with one Simiyu Eseli. What was that about? I've
mentioned several times about that issue. There was nothing physical.
I think
a politician will fight using the mouth. And if there was any
which is verbal fighting.
Yeah, but that's not physical. You know, physical, that means they must touch maybe bodily harm, like what is happening to.
So you can fight verbally?
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, politicians were there to
regardless of the national or societal values. Like
no, I never say that. I never say don't put words in my mouth. I'm asking. Within the framework of the law, yeah, you can only challenge using the mouth, but not physical. So we don't fight, and as politicians we should fight using our mouth in terms of challenging. But what I said is it's likely we are likely to have more because as we approach elections, the competition is going to be tougher, and at times when some utterances are given, even our own supporters, whatever they do where you have no control, these things are likely to happen, and that's why we are calling upon the security agencies at such a time when we approach elections, because we are likely to have this. And
so
for us, they must be more vigilant and take stern action against such politicians who are going to incite people, who are going to bring in these issues of fights, so that it can deter. I watched Honorable Lemukere yesterday. You know what happened when they fought in the office of
the president? Actually,
the president. It was very, very embarrassing. But what people were saying is that the way the law was applied, I'm told even the lady was very physical on the man, and nothing has been done to the lady. So we need to know the investigations. Investigations must be very objective. They should not be political. They should be above board, so that whoever is going to go against the law must take its course.
My director is prompting me to wind up, but I can't wind up without seeking your opinion on this, Barack. I think from next week onwards, this gentleman will not have a chance to conduct any fundraising, harambes. That is as per the law. How do you think they will manage to get votes? David, no more harambes for you.
They will put it into another guise. because Harambee, as we understand it, takes a certain character. That people will go to some venue and that they will be invited to bring money in turn. And we will see Mheshimiwa Wamalwa physically bringing the funds, and then we can say he has participated in a Harambee. But Harambees can also go into another guise. They can in fact send other people, or they can.
But the law says neither you nor your proxy.
Yeah, directly or indirectly.
Fact, you know that even the law really doesn't matter. It doesn't count in this country. How many laws do we have, and how many laws do people in leadership, particularly in political leadership, break every day?
And they still survive.
And they still survive. They do things with impunity. When we talk about impunity in this country, it perverts the whole political society. When it comes to politics, there are no laws.
Thank you, Barack. But I want to give the gentlemen 30 seconds each to tell me, how will you wade? Because Barack says somehow you'll find a way.
It's very, very unfortunate. Some of us are where we are today because of Harambees. Not all of us were privileged in the society. Harambees have done something very good. It can be for the church, it can be for a sick person, or school fees. It's unfortunate, as is stipulated in the Elections Act. I think it's at section 26,
26,
which says that you cannot participate in the Harambee, whether directly or indirectly. Of course, as politicians, we have to abide by, because in any case you're going to participate in that. If my PA, who is known by people, is going to give out some money, obviously, they'll know. So my people of community, they know about it. I'm sure they'll respect it, and we're not going to participate in the Harambees because we don't want to be bad
from contesting.
From contesting.
David, how will you hack this?
You know, contrary to public opinion.
You have 30 seconds.
Contrary to public opinion, by the way, Charles. Most MPs are waiting for the 8th of December. If you didn't know, I did let you know that. That most MPs are waiting for the IBC to tell
so Kenyans, that they have an excuse.
Not just an excuse, a breather. Go to any MP's office, you'll find in every 1 month there are like 20-30 cards for Harambees. Okay? So let no one lie to you. People are waiting for that date so that we stop doing Harambees. That's the truth. But then on the flip side is this, that nothing stops David Ochieng from walking into a church on a day when there's no Harambee
and giving money.
And shilling.
Guys,
okay? Because you asked us what we think about it. What about if I decided that for the last 3-4 months I'll not do any Harambee, I'll keep the money?
Then you walk in.
Then as soon as they now bar from doing Harambees, I'll go going on a normal prayer day and say I also decided to bring some cement or some sand. Okay? So guys always get to go around this. But the fundamental thing that I think the law was supposed to bridge, and which even revolution is supposed to help create, is the issue of dependence. People being able to have money in their pocket so that they can sort out their social issues. This is what is important, and I think as long as we don't have social safety nets, you don't have ways of making sure that people have money in their pockets, these kind of things will not stop.
Thank you very much. Fair enough. Well put, gentlemen. Viewers, that was my panel. Mheshimiwa Chris Wamalwa, Member of Parliament for Kiminini, thank you very much. Bwana Barack Muluka, I feel like calling you Mheshimiwa. I wish you'd just take the title.
They stop fighting.
And David Ochieng, Member of Parliament for Ugenya constituency, it was a blast having you people watching this. Thank you very much and see you around. My name is Charles Ogambo.
Thank you.